Ow, I just punched myself. So hello again. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Catherine. I'm a senior at USC studying music industry and public relations. Let's just get the logistical stuff out of the way first. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and also feel free to follow me on my other socials. Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, you name it, they're all there. To the point of today's video, I have been asked a lot about my Notion dashboard specifically, and my plethora of Notion pages that I create. If you haven't seen my aesthetic Google Calendar video, feel free to check that out as well. We've got questions about that too, so I thought I'd kind of round it out and come back with a Notion tour and tutorial. I know I usually do more like day in my life kind of stuff, but I also do love these like organizational hacks. Needless to say, I'm excited. Now, in this video, I'm only going to be showing a sample of my dashboard and I think like 8 different pages on my Notion. For some reason, I have way more than that. I live by Notion. I would not be able to survive without Notion, honestly, and I'm sadly not exaggerating. If I did go through every single one of my pages, we would be here for hours. But honestly, the 8 that I've chosen to share are the ones that I use the most frequently, so you'll still get a really good idea of kind of how I use it as a tool for my life. Also, I did want to throw out this little disclaimer. There are honestly so many of these Notion tour videos. I was shocked. I didn't know that this was that much of a thing. Like, I just thought I stumbled on Notion and like found a hidden gem of the internet, but apparently not. I'm not special whatsoever. So I know that there are plenty of other videos to watch, and honestly, I've watched a few of them and they're all great. But the thing I'll say about mine is that it's really nothing fancy, so it is quite easy to recreate. I guess there was just a bit of time that went into making them, so I'm happy to share my templates if that speeds the process up for you. I honestly just wanted to make it easy to recreate every time I make a new page, so hopefully that means it'll be easy to recreate for yourself. But without further ado, I'm gonna pull up my laptop here and let's get into the Notion. Have a holly jolly Christmas. I don't know why Christmas music is stuck in my head right now. I don't know if anyone else does this, but whenever I'm like waiting on something, I just have like buffer music that I start singing. And oftentimes it's Christmas music, the YMCA, or Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles. It's like elevator music, but in real life, you know? So welcome to the beautiful Notion. I have this cute little header with like the sage green plants kind of dangling over the dashboard. So I'll get into these widgets in a second, but you can see that I have the time over here and a calendar. And then I have it sorted into organization, work and school, lifestyle, and social media, because those are like the 4 categories of my life. And then over here, I have like a little countdown widget. This is counting down to spring break. Little teaser, I'm going back to the UK to visit my friends in Brighton, and I'm gonna do a little day trip to London and finish off the trip by myself in Prague, Vienna, and Bratislava, Slovakia. So I'm very much looking forward to this, and I'm very much looking forward to bringing you guys along with me. Some people do want to have like those quotes and affirmations on their dashboard. I like having something to look forward to. And then I also have a weather widget over here. I just like having this up so I can kind of see what it's looking like. I don't know, I religiously check the weather. So some people do have this sidebar open here. I don't like this as much because it like makes my screen off center. And so I almost always close the sidebar and keep that hidden, because when you scroll over it, you can still access it. And some people do like clicking these 3 dots up in the right corner and changing to serif or mono for different fonts. I've always just liked the default text, honestly. I've never changed this too much. Some people also like switching to the small text like that. This is what the serif looks like. Honestly, that's not bad. A lot of people also use this mono one. Something that I do on almost all my pages though is I switch this onto full width. I like utilizing all of the screen space personally. So in terms of how to set up this dashboard, if you want to add some sort of cute cover, I think usually the button appears over here, and you can go into gallery and select any of these. You can upload your own. You can paste an image link, so you'd go on Google, double click or right click or whatever it is, and then the copy image address, and that's what you would paste in here. Or on a lot of my pages, I also use Unsplash. I think it's just like a free photo sharing site that Notion partners with, and I'll get into that more in a second. And then in terms of creating like the headers, colors, columns, all of that, if you ever want to add anything new, you just click a plus button like anywhere on the screen. They kind of appear everywhere, and you can scroll down to page, which is what all of these are. And you can also add like table, bulleted list, a toggle list where you can like hide options underneath things, which I often use. You can add a divider, which is what's right here underneath all of my headings, just to separate things a little bit more. And then these like database views, I'll get into those more on the pages once I explore those a bit. And I frankly use nothing down here. Instead of clicking clicking the plus, if you're on something that already exists, you can click these like 6 dots, I guess, and then you can also turn things into a different number of columns, and that's how I set up this page. And so then for the colors here, the way that I set this up is that you can go down to color. Here's where you can change the text color, but then below this is where you can change like the background color. So these are just the Notion colors. I didn't have to do anything special to get them. And then I just made sure that my widgets that I created myself kind of match the Notion color so that everything's still cohesive. So for these widgets, I believe I used a website called Widgetbox, but this digital retro clock is the one that I have on the left side of my screen. So you can change the background to any color, but you can, choose from any of these colors. You can see that it brings up lots of different shade options. And then you can also change the text color. And then what you would do is click copy here. I just do like the Command V or paste or whatever function that is on your device, and then create embed. And then there you go. There's your like little cute widget. And then for the calendar, I just use the same Widgetbox app. You can change the border width. And then for the widgets on the right side of the screen, I think I actually use Indify. I don't know why my weather one isn't on here because it says that you need like an upgrade for it. I don't understand exactly how I got it. I may have used another website instead. But then for the countdown on Indify, you can add some sort of event title. So you can see I have spring break, and then the date and time. This is when I leave on my flight. And then you can also turn on different other features and have it centered text or a larger title. And then again, you can set a background color. And so once again, you do the exact same thing. You would copy this here, go into Notion here, paste it, and then kind of resize it how you want it to look. The last 2 things that I'll say on here is that I actually have a page called archived pages. I don't know, like I have like spring break planning here, but obviously after spring break is done, I don't necessarily need that on my dashboard anymore. So I would just drag this into archived pages. And so that way I can still refer back to it. It's not deleted, but it kind of clears up the clutter on my dashboard. And then the final thing, my favorite thing about this is these like cute little icons next to everything. So if I go here, you can see that usually Notion defaults to adding like a random emoji. I'm not about that. I think it really messes up the colors on the page. And so I like going into these icons. But another thing is that when you click on it, you can also choose one of these colors. I think these like grayscale icons make it look a lot more sleek. So I'm really into that. I hope you guys are too. But I think that covers everything on my little dashboard here. We're gonna go ahead and get into some of my pages that I use most frequently, starting with the one that I use literally every day, many times a day, and that's my to-do list. It's called Kath's To Do because that is me. And then this is what it looks like. I know it's a lot, but honestly, this is the only way that I've been able to stay on top of everything this year. And so for the cover, at least, what I did was I went into Unsplash and literally just typed in gray and then clicked on this one here. And that's what I use for all my pages. I think honestly, the way that I've set this up is pretty genius and it works really well for me. But I have this set up in a board view, which is one of the main like database views that Notion features. So the way that I have it set up is that if you click these like 3 dots over here, then this is how you choose to group the columns. And so I have it grouped by day of the week so that it goes kind of like a calendar, and I just have it sorted by Sunday through Saturday. But what I've done is that I have subgroups, and that's where I have like the different categories of tasks. And so the ones that I have are top priorities, where I put my like top 3 things for the day. And then I have school related activities, clubs, social media, anything that's like personal, and then also professional. If I wanted to make it like less cluttered, I can close some of these so that I can just focus on one category and not be concerned with all the other things that I have to do, which is really nice. So within each of these, I have all these cards and they're really easy to create. I just click new and then I click add type. So you can see that these are all my different options. Also, you can change the colors of these pretty easily if you just click these like 3 buttons here. For some reason, I picked green, blue, pink, and orange. Another thing that's really nice though is that if I decide that I wanted to post it another day, I can just drag this to another column. And this is what I do with everything at the end of the day that I do not complete. So I'll be doing a lot of that tonight. I will say this is probably one of the more complicated pages that I've created, and so I'm definitely happy to share this as a template if that is helpful at all. Otherwise, we'll move on to another page and we will head into my grocery shopping list. Honestly, this isn't one of my more aesthetic pages, but I find that it's really practical and useful. And so I have all the different categories of food. This is helping me see what I already have in the fridge or pantry or freezer. But then over here, I just have the same categories kind of copied over. And whenever I need something, say I wanted to buy some mixed greens, I can click on those 6 dots again and just drag it over here, and then it appears in my like shopping list. And then whenever I check it, I just drag it back over. So that helps me keep everything sorted while I'm grocery shopping. And then once I like am looking at what I want to do for dinner, I can see exactly what I have. I do have to go in here obviously and like update when I run out of something. If my fridge could like automatically send messages to my Notion, that would be great. So I'm going to finish out the organization category with actually one of my archives pages, which is a winter break packing list. I set up my packing lists pretty similar to this for any trip. I have these special little like call outs up here. So I have the number of days, and then I have weather, just so I know what type of clothes to pack, and then special notes I have over here. Here I have these all set to heading 3, and then I have it bolded because when you select this, you can click like bold, italicize, underline, the strike through, but I have this set up for like clothes, makeup and hair, accessories, necessities, hygiene and medicine, and entertainment. These are like the 6 categories that I usually focus on, I guess. You can see that this is also selected on to-do list, and so you can check it off whenever you've packed it, which I think is really helpful. And then once again, similar to the dashboard, I have this set up in 3 different columns, and then you can obviously like resize these again however you want. But for these call outs up top, whenever you have a call out, it makes the border a bit larger, and it also adds like the little icon. I'm just obsessed with the little icons. I think they're so cute. Now moving on to work and school, I'm going to start with my courses page because I feel like this is actually really helpful for any college student, anyone that's a student. I think I divided this up by like documents being 1 column and weekly schedule being another, and then that weekly schedule column I divided into 5 columns. The column feature on Notion is totally underrated. I made each of these little blocks different colors, and it corresponds with the tabs on the side that link to all of my resources for each of those courses. And I think if you like shift enter, it keeps it in the same color block. And then for the documents on the side, this is the toggle feature that I was talking about. So let's say for my music technology class, if I open this up, then all of these drop down. So you can see that I have it linking to the syllabus and then linking to my notes document. So it's helpful to have these things kind of on hand, but then it's nice to be able to like close up the list to make it look nice and tidy again. Last semester, I was able to create this table, which is another feature of Notion, and it's pretty intuitive to set it up, I would say. You can create different columns, so I just have the assignment, the class that it's for, and you can see that I have all my different class categories, so I can just select them, and then I have the due date, and then under sort, I have it sorted by the due date, and so that I can see what's due first at the top. And I think there's also a filter to add where you can say, like, if this due date is in the past, then don't show it on the table anymore. I think that this is a great way to keep track of all of your assignments. Still in the work and school category, let's move to Crosstown, which is my current job. It's like, I do like audience development for them and a bit of like marketing and like outreach, and they are a nonprofit news organization that like represents LA County through data. So whenever I say that I'm like working in any of my day in my life videos, that is usually what I'm doing. But this is my Crosstown dashboard. So you can see that I have, again, my little columns. I have this like table over here with my to-do, and I just have like the task listed, priority. Something that is nice about these tables is that you can change the type. And so for this one, I obviously have checkbox, but you can have text or like a select or multi-select, which is what this category is with the priority. Whoa, it happened. And then whenever you like check something, it goes straight to the bottom because I have it set up with the sort of status. And then I also have it sorted by priority. And then over here, you can see that I have meeting notes. And so all of these link to different pages. Usually I put a date. This one, I obviously forgot. That also helps me remember like when I last met with someone on the team. And over here, I have resources. So all of these are like bookmarked links, which is really nice. And then you can change the colors of the links. So I have them all blue, and then I have the text describing what the link is in between just regular. So I think that makes it stand out. So it's easy to kind of breeze through all of these and find the one that you need. And here I also have the calendar view, which is another database feature that Notion has. This shows my availability for scheduling presentations with neighborhood council meetings, finishing off work and school with the job search category. This is the page that I should spend more time on right now, but this is sorting all of the possible companies that I'm kind of interested in that I'm not necessarily as familiar with. So I have the company listed here. I have it sorted alphabetically by their name, and then I have a description, just what I pulled from their website, and I have different locations, and then I have it linked to their website and also just like extra notes on the side. But now moving on to the lifestyle, I'm going to take us into workouts. Nothing too fancy here. It's the board view, which we already saw on my to-do list, but I have it organized by like standing on my back or side and then like on my stomach. But whenever I am working out at home, I like to start standing and then like gradually like collapse on the floor. Over here in the layout, you can do the color columns, and that's why those columns were like green, blue, pink, and orange, which I think is kind of nice for this page at least because they are different colors. And then my last page, this is one that I've been using more frequently family, obviously. That is my YouTube page. So I have a little gallery set up here. It's similar to the board one where there's different boxes, but this one has like pictures that you can actually have. And so these are all of like my recent videos kind of from the past like couple months. And so I do this just to see if like the thumbnails go together and if it looks kind of cohesive. You can see that this is all my planning coming up. Each of these ones with like these little icons are the actual pages where I have like my plans and my editing checklist. I'll show that in a minute. So you can add these pretty easily. You just add an item at the top of the calendar. And then if I wanted to put like a YouTube video type, these are the different categories that I feel like I create in the most. And then it is nice. You can also drag these across different days. And then over here on this like little column to the side, I just have like general ideas if I'm ever like, I don't know, if I'm ever struggling to find like something to do, because sometimes life just isn't interesting. I won't lie. I'll go into my little template so you can see kind of what this looks like. So again, these are this exact same categories, but then I have like my video planning here. And so I have like this whole checklist set up for my like editing process. And so that way, if I like am curious kind of what I need to do for each one, I can just click on the thumbnail and then see exactly where I'm at in the process. And so we are now back on my cute little dashboard. And I think that wraps up the Notion tour and tutorial. I know there's a lot covered in this video. It's like America runs on Duncan, but I run on Notion 100%. At the very least, I hope that you got some ideas from this video and feel kind of inspired to experiment more with Notion. But please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or need any help or want any templates. I am more than happy to share any of that information with you guys. But thank you again so much for watching. And I guess stay tuned for more like organizational, college, lifestyle, travel videos. Yeah, I guess I will see you next time. Bye!